Well, let me tell you, if you motivate and inspire children during that 50 minutes to want to learn more about something that they're interested in, they will go home and read the book you recommend. Right. They will read on their own if they're if they have the will, if they are motivated to do it.
Right. And for example,
nobody had to ask me to read once I discovered the world out there through reading.
Right.
You know?
Well, see, I was the opposite. And so some of the required reading in the school system is Shakespeare, for example. And, there's a lot of Shakespeare ballets. And it's not, not just covered in ballets. There's also plays. There's also, drama productions of Romeo and Juliet, and Midsummer Night's Dream and some others like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think back to that in the school system, I get upset sometimes because I was that creative kid, and there were no avenues. I know even when I was teaching, specifically, I won't name any schools because I don't want to get in trouble. But the kids had art once a week, and it was for like 25 minutes. But the teacher spent, 5 minutes getting them there, 5 minutes getting them back. And it's like by the time the art teacher actually corralled them, because there's so many of them, they didn't get to take home fun projects. And it was more of a babysitting for the teacher for, 30 minutes per se. And then music was, that school actually had a pretty good music program, but it was still only twice a week for 30 minutes. You can't really do a whole lot, or learn a whole lot with that kind of time frame, honestly. There's just not time, especially when you're dealing with second graders. Trying to get their attention takes time in the first place, So having something where they can go and really kind of dive into it, like these outreach programs that aren't just 30 minutes of a chunk of time, I think is extremely powerful because it gives them time to get their minds involved and kind of soak in what it is. And maybe hopefully they'll be inspired to do it outside of school because we've talked about this 100 times. We are tired of complaining about what the school system doesn't do, and which is why this is what we do. The funding got cut, so we are creating our own outreach programs.
That's exactly right. And that's where we pick up the ball, where the school systems drop that ball, we pick up the ball. And so that's what our program is all about. We offer classes, like I said before, in dance, music, theater, and visual arts at our school. And the classes range from anywhere from about 30 minutes to an hour and a half for some of our ballet classes. And the younger students are the shorter classes.
Right.
But it is an after-school program. We start at about 3:00 in the afternoon and go usually till about 9:00 at night. Wow. So there, and a lot of our students, actually Darcy is one of them, a lot of our more serious students are there almost every day of the week, and then called back on Saturdays for rehearsal.
I'm taking 17 ballet classes a week currently at Level Performing Arts. So it's been really cool to have the opportunity to go like every day and do what I love. And just what you were saying about the outreach programs, they really do have an impact because I know my brother started doing hip hop and he was interested. And Mom heard about Pensacola Youth Ballet and she said, well, let's go see their production of Pinocchio. Mm-hmm. And I did, and I fell in love with it. And that's really what got me to where I am now, which is like going, like you said, dancing every day of the week because I love it, and I was inspired by that performance and I wanted to do it, and I found my love and my passion for it through that performance. So that was really cool.
And I bet you're proud, Mom.
I am. I am. It's all kind of new, honestly, because she actually started late. She didn't start ballet until she was 14. She was in 9th grade when she really started seriously. So we approached Michael and was like, is this even worth the time and effort or what? And he said, well, let her just start and see. We'll just kind of go from there. Well, it really took off. And it is absolutely her love. It's amazing. And so it has changed her life completely. And it's just given her a purpose and an outlet. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's wonderful.
And Michael, you all also work with professionals from the industry as well, not just outreach in schools, which is fantastic and what we're all about. But tell us about the professional side of what you all get to do.
That's absolutely correct. We regularly try to have in professional dancers as well as teachers from different companies, from different organizations, even from competition conventions and things like that. This allows our students to network, which is extremely important, to build the ladder to their career, if you so to speak. We've had dancers in from So You Think You Can Dance, which is obviously one of the biggest shows on television these days, right? They've come in during the summer program. We have a yearly summer program called Strive, and every year we invite different teachers in for that. We've had teachers from Cincinnati Ballet, Pennsylvania Ballet, different teachers from Los Angeles, California, Eugene Ballet, Cirque du Soleil even.
Oh, wow.
And Iglevsky Ballet is, we had actually my godfather, he's the director at Iglevsky Ballet. He came in to set part of our Nutcracker last year. So he set the snow scene for Nutcracker. So if you come to the Nutcracker in December, December 3rd, don't miss the Nutcracker. If you come see that, you'll see his choreography.
Awesome.
We're actually, the Hope Foundation is going to be partnering with you in the Nutcracker performance. Isn't that right?
That is correct. Another part of the outreach that we do is, when we started the company, I come from the nonprofit world, being a ballet dancer all my life, and I've seen the nonprofit world all my life, how it struggles and how it kind of creates new ways to engage with the community and engage with its audience. And so part of my desire for our ballet company was to do the same thing, to engage with our community and give back. And so we've tried to partner with a local nonprofit here in Pensacola each year that we've had a performance. And what we've done is basically invite them to be a part of the performance in the sense of just being present at the performance. They are able to display, information, put out flyers or whatever, and give a speech at the beginning of the show in front of the curtain to talk about their organization. And then the ticket sales, half the ticket sales, we split with that organization at the end. And there's kind of just, no strings attached. We just split that with them, give back to that. It's been really successful. We've partnered with the Snoozlin Foundation at Escambia Westgate School. This foundation is a foundation that works with children with severe disabilities. Mm-hmm. If you've never been to the facility out there, it is really, truly incredible. There's about 4 rooms that are themed for these students. And children with severe disabilities, sometimes, like autism, for example, they respond to color or temperature, and things like that more than they do speech. And so when the teachers out at the Escambia Westgate School can't get the students to respond to the lessons, verbally, sometimes they'll take them over to this facility, and they'll put them in these rooms, and they will respond to the colors in the rooms or the sounds in the rooms. The temperature will calm them down so that they're more responsive. So it's really an incredible
organization. And then another organization that we've worked with. May I speak to
yes.
The working with children with disabilities? One of our outreach programs focused on, we actually had to reduce the number of students for one of the programs because we worked with East Hill Academy that specializes in educating children with autism, which is near and dear to my heart because I have a grandson that is severely autistic. And so we were kind of afraid to bring too many of those students in because we didn't have a lot of experience working with them and weren't sure how they would respond. They were amazing, almost 30 in this one outreach that should have been for 230. They were so well behaved. They were just as enthusiastic and loved it just as much. And the teachers were even amazed at how well they worked. But we kind of let them have free reign, which was great. And but the response was the same from the teachers that were there and the kids. It was just an amazing experience. So although we're focusing trying to focus mostly on children in the primary school age, kindergarten through 6. We do expand that outreach to like Pace Center for Girls that's a whole nother story. An amazing school that does amazing things with those girls in just a matter of a year. And also, it was such a pleasure to work with East Hill Academy and those autistic children. So, yeah, it's just an example of how far-reaching the arts is.
Absolutely, absolutely. The other organization that we've worked with is Favor House.
Yeah.
And Favor House is a group that works with mothers and daughters and children who've been abused, and so another really fantastic organization. But I want to speak to this too. By partnering with other nonprofits, there's a very circular thing that's happening there. The ballet company doing the performance, that's our reward. Of course, money is necessary to put those performances on. And the ticket sales, the money that comes in from those ticket sales goes into the following year's budget, for the next year's productions and so forth. But it also allows us to create scholarships and things like that. But there's a whole nother element coming into play with sponsorships, and with donations as well. And I have Mike Penzone here, who is a longtime sponsor of the ballet company, and I'd like for him to talk a little bit about that.
Well, I really am very excited to be able to sponsor the youth ballet, because basically Michael is very hands-on. He builds a lot of his own sets, or builds them in-house. He doesn't waste anything. And so when we make a donation, or as a business, when we sponsor, it's a lot more like he does it in a way that if we sponsor what we sponsor, he makes it grow by doing everything in-house. And when he brings in these other organizations, basically what that does is it really makes your donation or your sponsorship really go far, because it really helps the community. And he really does bring value to the community, not just to the kids, not just for dance, which even though you must see the Nutcracker, I've seen it over the years, and it's really gotten to the point where I think it's just amazing that he's doing such good work in this in our community. And so, but as a sponsor, it's something that everybody should kind of take part in, because it really does bring value to the community and to the arts. And the ballet is really amazing. He's been in this business professionally for over 15 years dancing, and so the value that he can bring to your children is incredible.